Hello, what's up? I'm Coral. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing just a little book tag. This is called the Reader Problems tag. It was originally created by the channel About to Read. I will leave a link to the original video down in the description, as well as a copy of all the questions in case this is something you'd like to do. However, this is a pretty old tag. I think this was created in like 2014, so you may have already done it by now. I don't know. I don't know about this one. It's pear and elderflower. It tastes like too artificially pear-like, which is strange because usually these don't taste very artificial. Anyways, to the questions. The first question is, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. Relatable. How in the world do you decide what to read next? I guess I don't know. I just constantly have a list of things that I'm going to read for myself, especially now having this channel. There are books that I want to read for content I want to make, so I guess that's how I would figure it out. I guess if I didn't have a channel and I wasn't doing like some sort of readathon, or I was a mood reader and I didn't already have all my TBRs planned out ahead of time, maybe I would like use my TBR drawer. I guess that's kind of what that's for, right? Number 2, you're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? I'd probably quit, especially if I was halfway and not loving it, unless there was like something I was reading it for. Like, do I need to, I don't know. There are some books that I've read all the way through despite not liking them, just so I can give a good, concise review on it and like why I didn't like it. For example, Gosnell by Anne McElhenney and Phelan McKayler, I think those are the authors. I hate read that. I actually hate read it, just so I could give it a fair review, which was shit. It was an awful book. Number 3, the end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? I don't know. I don't feel like I'm too concerned about that. I don't know. You could try reading a bunch of graphic novels if that really matters, or maybe I try to set aside more reading time, like cut back on the other hobbies that I have, because my free time isn't only devoted to reading. I also really love a good movie. I love a good TV show. I really love playing video games, so maybe I'd cut back on that in order to read more, which like I do sometimes, not necessarily for my reading goal, but because it's like I've been reading this book for 5 days and if I don't finish it soon, I'm going to DNF it, because like I just like can't read the same thing for too long. Does that make sense? So I don't know. Number 4, the covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I used to be real hung up on that. Now I just don't care as much, because especially with how my shelves are rearranged now, nothing's like the same height or the same size. I'm not gonna say it like doesn't totally bother me, but I don't know. Maybe try to find this specific edition, because I do that. I do specifically hunt down certain editions of books, so like I guess I would just do that if it was really bothering me. Number 5, everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Well, I'd probably tell you guys about it. I do tell you guys about it, I guess, when that happens to me. And sometimes, you know, people are like, oh, I didn't like that also. And sometimes people don't say anything about it. And you know what? It's fine, because sometimes it's just nice to like get it out in the open. Also, I definitely complain to my husband about books that I don't like. Number 6, you're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? I don't, I don't like really cry. Number 7, a sequel of a book you love just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, cry in frustration? This is an actual problem that I have, and I 99% of the time will just read the book again. Sometimes I try to find like the audiobook of it instead if my library has it on Overdrive. I just did that with And I Darken by Kirsten White, and I'm so glad that I ended up rereading it before going on to the second book, because there is a ton of content that I just would not have remembered without rereading the first book. So I will always reread it in some form. I don't think I would ever just try to read a synopsis, because like a synopsis cannot tell you everything that happened in that book, like all the important, even like the very minute details. I think that that's important. I do the same thing with TV shows. Like I cannot skip an episode. If I've missed like 15 minutes of a show, like if I fell asleep watching it, I will go back. Sometimes I'll go back and rewatch the whole goddamn episode before going on to the next one, because I just can't. The thought of like missing something important, even if it's just like a tiny little detail, that just like I can't do that. Number 9, reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? I'd probably like just scrap those 5 books from now and start over with something new if I'm caught. And actually I just had to do that a couple months ago. I was reading, I was reading part of The Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. I was reading Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. There's like 2 or 3 other books that I was like kind of in the middle of at the same time as those ones, and like I just had to put at least 3 of them down, and I can't remember what else I was reading, so it might have just been that I put everything else down and really focused on one of them and like powered through it. And really just like finishing any book while you're in a situation like that really just helps me feel like I've accomplished something then, which kind of helps bring me out of that slump. Number 10, there are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? Probably not many, actually, because unless it's something that I know I'm going to want to read right away, I will not pre-order it, because otherwise it gets left on my shelves. I'm not someone who tends to read new releases right away when they come out, which is something that I'm trying to get better about, because I know pre-ordering books is really important for how publishers look at the sales of books. So it's like I really want to support the authors that I love by pre-ordering their books. I'm trying to get better about that. But typically I don't do that. I don't buy many new releases right when they come out. I don't buy books at full price very often at all. Okay, last question, number 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do these sit on your shelf before you get to them? Oh, I just kind of answered that. Probably a while, because like I said before, maybe if I was more of a mood reader, I'd be more excited about getting to those right away. And I'm trying to get better about that. Like if I do pre-order a book, I'm trying to make sure that I get to that right away, because typically I'm not very good about that, and they do sit on my shelf for quite a while, because I plan for things ahead of time, especially now that I'm doing YouTube. Like I said, there are certain videos that I want to make, so I need to make sure that I've read the things that I need to read to make that content. And a lot of that requires, you know, extra reading. So I need to make sure that I'm planning for this so that I don't flounder and end up not being able to create content that I want to. So I don't read a ton of new releases, and the new releases that I get right now, like, I'm not good at reading them in a timely manner. I'm not good at reading anything I buy in a timely manner. Like, it's not often where it's like, I hauled this book this month and I'm going to read it this month. Like, it just doesn't happen. Hardly ever. And hardly ever happens. And that's also why I have, like, I don't know, 500-600 books that I haven't fucking read. Oh, and that's the end of this video. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take a look at the original video for this tag. Let me know if you've done this tag, because I'd love to watch it. Or if you've done any tags recently. I really like to watch, especially ones where people talk about their reading habits and stuff like that. I really think that's interesting. So let me know, leave me a comment. I am so happy that I have all of you to talk at. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for watching me talk. I will see you guys later.